Untitled TV. I'm Coach Danzy, and I got a special guest with us today, and that's JJ Harvey. JJ's been a tremendous name in the Capital District, out of Colony High School, where he played and starred and everything else in football and in basketball, track and field as well. And he went on to go on to Siena College, where he played there and graduated as well. Did a fabulous job up at Siena, and he's now currently running his program called DKBA, the 518 chapter. JJ, how you doing, man? Glad you could come on and talk some training with us.
Yeah, man. Now I'm doing well. Appreciate you for having me. Been a big fan. Been watching you guys from a distance, and I'm just excited when I see you guys covering the Capital Region like this. I got a special place in my heart for the Capital Region, and I feel like you feel one of those boys where we're covering all these student athletes. And I'm just, excited that and honored that you would even think of me to do this show. So yeah, I'm doing well, man.
Yeah. I mean, we did a show last year or the year before last, and a couple of the players actually shouted you out. You know what I mean? We had one of the guys over at LaSalle. He shouted you out, and a few others, man, about because I guess they work out with you. You know what I mean? So your name is definitely ringing bells out there. You know what I mean? But tell me how you when you play basketball, when did you get started playing basketball and football and track and field? Like, what got you started and all that?
This is actually a funny question because I have kids of my own, right? And I'm finding that it's hard to get them to love sports like that, right? So it's just real funny. So I asked my parents literally maybe a month ago, Dad, did I always like sports, or did you have to con me into it, or what? Did you have to trick me into it? And he just said, nah, since birth, you guys were just all in it. I got two other brothers. We just all been sports oriented. So it's just been crazy that, God bless my dad.
No doubt.
We would be in the sports right from the rip. So just as long as I can remember, we've been athletes. It's been a sports household. My dad has always been one of those guys who like to challenge us all the time. So there was definitely some tension in the household between brothers. He would always kind of argue who's faster and don't you ever get caught on the football field and things of that nature. So it's just been a mentality from us, from the household. So yeah, just since I've been born, I've been in it.
Oh, it's in the genetics, huh? So what sport did you pick up quicker, basketball or football? I think track, most of us probably picked that up real quick, but for basketball and football, take a little bit more a little bit more practice to get good at it. But what sport did you get to?
Definitely football. My dad was a football player. I've always held on to that. My dad trained us in football a little bit, just how to hold the ball, how to catch it. And I was always reminded that he had got to try out with the Seattle Seahawks in 15-day thing. So, that always as a young kid, that just stuck in my mind. I'm telling, my friends that my dad played in the NFL. That's, I was proud to say that and stuff like that. So that was our first sport where we were just, active in it a little bit, even though at that age we couldn't get into stuff until like Pop Warner and stuff like that. So yeah, definitely football.
Mm-hmm. So what made you, when you made that jump to college, whatever, what made you want to just do basketball solely?
I just love basketball, to be honest. So like, it wasn't like I was doing football for a long time. Like, it was football first, but it was definitely football and basketball at the time. I don't know. I feel like I can express myself more a little bit in basketball. Obviously football is a lot rougher. I'm not the toughest guy. So me taking hits across the middle, I'm thinking about, I want to do that all the rest of my life, or with basketball. So, basketball was definitely the jump. And I think I stopped playing my senior year in high school. Got a lot of flack for that, but I just felt in my heart that's what I wanted to do. So, at the time, right before that, funny story, my dad took me to Syracuse football camp. And I did so well at the football camp. Coach Pasqualiani, who was the head football coach there, actually offered me a full scholarship to Syracuse.
Wow.
So, that was that was a surreal. I kind of asked him, he kind of brought me in the office and he asked me, you know, how do I like to play defense? Because he wanted me as a defensive back. And I told him I'm a man-to-man guy. And then I kind of asked him, am I going to be able to get to play basketball though? And I thought it was a legitimate question because, you know, at the time, if you remember, Donovan McNabb was there. He was playing two sports. The two-sport athlete was kind of a little trend because Julius Peppers was going, Antonio Gates. These guys like was making headlines. So I thought it was a legit question, but he was like, "Nah, we're gonna throw that basketball away. We want you for football." So that in my head, I was like, I'm good."
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, that's interesting, man. It's good to hear those type of stories too. And you got a lot of stories like that you can share with your students that you work out with too. Let's go back to high school again. You won the Section 2 title back. I think you beat Lionel Chalmers and those guys that year, right?
Yeah, man.
99 or 2000? What year
was 99, right? So we got to the Section 2 championship, surprisingly, my sophomore year, and lost to Jakey and them at Schenectady. So they had the big squad, Willie Dean, Reed, all those guys. We kind of got blown out in the Section 2 championship there, but that was the motivation. Like, we can do this. We just got to put some things together, work a little bit harder, and then we run into Lionel Chalmers, good friend of mine, and we end up getting that win in the Section 2, and that was our greatest run because we ended up going to the state finals and lost in the state finals there. But then the year after that, we were looking to win the state finals, and we fell short, but we did win the Section 2 championship again that following year against Bishop McGinn, Jason Coleman and company. Shout out to JC, my boy. So yeah, really good. So, but yeah, very good career at Conley. Wouldn't trade it for the world. It was definitely one of those careers that I'll never forget.
Yeah, no question about it. Now, talk about your 4 years at Siena. They went by quick, didn't they?
I was going to correct you in the beginning. So I went 2 years at Siena.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and I ended up transferring to Southern New Hampshire. So what ended up happening is Paul Hewitt recruited me out of Colony. But as soon as I got there, Paul took the job at Georgia Tech. So we were with Coach Louis Orr from Syracuse my first year. We had a good year at Siena, and then he ended up getting a better job at Seton Hall. So then I went through another coach, Coach Rob Lanier, and Coach Lanier and I just bumped heads, I guess. That's being nice, I guess. So we just didn't see eye to eye, and I know he had certain plans I don't think that I was in. And it was just a rough year for me. And so I ended up transferring, not to mention I wasn't as focused at Siena that year as I should have been because with school and education and things of that nature. So I ended up losing my scholarship that year and transferring to Southern New Hampshire, where my old basketball teammate, Brian Larrabee, shout out to Brian Larrabee, who pretty much said, you can come play with us. We play in a high level Division II conference. And if he wouldn't have called me, I would have pretty much gave up on basketball at that time. I was kind of done with it, just disappointed in everything that was going on. So I finishing up at Southern New Hampshire, and that's how it went. Yeah. So
yeah. That's more information you give to the kids.
yeah, exactly. I tell the story all the time to them. So I tell them about the flaws, the ups and the downs. I think it's important as a trainer and a mentor that, you know, it's not all peaches and cream when you do this, and to stay goal oriented, because you know, if you don't, things are gonna fall by the wayside. What are you gonna do after that?
That's right. So let's get right into the training then. And now, what got you started into personal training, man? I mean, do you do both? You do the physical stuff, or do you just do the basketball stuff, or you do both?
I do both a little bit. I know online it gets a little confusing, but basketball first, obviously. Excuse me. But I think what's important is that we do keep our bodies in tip-top shape and we take care of our tempo. So what happened was, to answer your first question, how I got started, I was a coach for the Albany City Rocks AU organization. And what had happened was a lot of players were asking me if I did training. And I told them no at first, and then they just kept asking and asking. So I ended up leaning on a close friend of mine named Danilius King, who I went to school with at Siena College. And I knew he was doing it at a high level. He was passionate about it, and we was always talking about it. I used to go to his seminars in the area and just tell him how impressed I was from the outside looking in. So I asked him, should I be doing this, or how do I do this, right? And he was telling me, listen, Jay, you can do this. He pretty much was putting the battery in my pack, even when I didn't think I could do it. So when he told me, I told him, all right, well, I'm going to go full board. I'm going to come up to your trainings every Saturday. He was having them. I went up every week to Utica, New York, to pretty much study under him, take notes. That lasted for a good 3-4 months. And when I felt confident enough, that's how it began. I came back down and started taking on my first few clients, and that's all she wrote.
See. You said you've been doing it for like 8 years now. So what has been some of the things that you gained from doing this so long, man? What is some of the you think you really thought you would love it as soon as you got involved? So what's something you took away from it?
I think just like with any athlete who's not in the game from a competitive standpoint, or at a collegiate standpoint, you just want to be around the game a lot. I think even before that, I took up refereeing, which was fun too. I love to ref at the girls level, but you're just trying to be somewhere around the sport, and training did that for me. It just did, and it was more than I could ever imagine it to be honest. Seeing these kids grow up and get better every day, and trying to motivate them and have them believe in themselves when they don't even believe in themselves is a special thing, almost close to intoxicating, to be honest. So, the passion comes from that, and that is definitely by far the reason I'm doing what I'm doing.
Right. So DKBA 518 chapter. Talk to us, walk us through one of those workouts you're doing with some of the young people you got in your program.
Yeah, so I mean, they show up on time, and usually we kind of just chit chat for about 15 minutes, because I think what separates me from most of the trainers is I definitely value the relationships that I have with my clients. I don't have a wide array of clients, but for the most part, the ones I do have, we're pretty close knit. So I'm staying on top of them. I'm watching them during the season. I'm trying to check up on them to see if anything's going good, even if it's not basketball related. So a lot of the 15 minutes before I even start my training, we're talking. I might catch them at an AU game, and we'll talk about the tournament, things of that nature. And then right after that, we'll get to work. We'll just get to a warm up. And depending on what we do, I kind of go off the top of my head now. I got so much stuff now, so it's not like I plan it. I kind of see who I got in the gym, and then we just go after it pretty much. And then towards the end, if we got enough players there, we'll play some 1-on-1, 2-on-2, 3-on-3, things of that nature, and make sure they're playing against some bodies and stuff like that.
So what type of students do you like to have in your program? I'm pretty sure a lot of parents might, send their kids to you, but they might not necessarily want it, right? Some other kids probably do want it. You can see the passion. So what type of kids do you get? What type of kids do you want? What are you working with?
You said it, man. And they're few and far between, but those kids that just love the sport, like I do. They're the joys to have. They're the ones that's attentive, and they're taking in every detail and every word you say out of your mouth, and they're applying this stuff not just at the workout, but on the free time. So that when they come back and see you the next time, you're just going to see some growth. And again, that's what's exciting. That's what's exciting about doing this. But yeah, definitely the kids that love basketball. Okay, not that I don't shoo away the kids that don't. We try to develop that love, or we develop. If we don't have a love, we just develop some goals, right? What do you want out of the sport, right? And I think that's really, really important. I think when I first started doing it, I didn't even take any clients unless they came back to me with a poster board. I used to make them go to a poster board and goal all their jot down all their goals. And then once I saw that, I would tell them to hang it up somewhere where they're going to see it every day. So next time you come see me, we can attack those goals, period. We're going to make sure that anytime things get hard in this workout, I'm going to remind you of those goals, right? So it'll be up to you if you want it or not. So that's how I went about it. But a lot of kids, like you said, if it's parents making them come and you just see that it's not going, those are the type of kids that it's just hard to coach and you know, kind of, it's almost a relationship thing. Let's see what you really want to do, not basketball.
Right. Now, do you just do basketball or do you do other sports as well?
Just basketball. We usually with the Vertimax workouts that I do, which is taking care of our body. I have had football players come in. I've had baseball players come in for our Vertimax workouts and things of that nature. But from a training standpoint of skill and development, it's been basketball only.
Right. Now, what as far as the basketball training portion of it, what skill do you like to work on the most with your play? I mean, what are you known for with your players? Is it the jump shot? Is it the dribble? Is it the defense? Is it the lateral movement? I mean, what is when they say JJ Harvey? What are they gonna say?
Right now is going to be footwork. We're all about the footwork right now. So footwork is a foundation of basketball that's pretty much has to do with any skill that you put in. So even on the defensive end, there's certain footworks that you got to master and things of that nature. So I've come to that conclusion after doing this for 8 years. You know, I was the guy doing a billion ball handling drills and jump shots,
right,
all that stuff, but I wasn't really seeing the results that I would have liked to see versus when I went to this curriculum with the footwork, right? So the footwork has been showing the most results because you're literally asking players to practice stepping. That's pretty much what you're doing. Like, can you step this way and step this way consistently? And if we can get that done, then we can move on to ball handling, shooting, and all that stuff will become a lot more easier. So the footwork has definitely been the one, the big emphasis pretty much for the past 2 years, I would say.
That's awesome. You don't hear that too often, especially with the pivot. The pivot is very important.
Oh boy.
All right. So what? So as you you're still developing, you're still growing, you're pretty much becoming very proficient in this field of personal training. Your name is definitely out there. What's next? What's going to be next for you, man? Where are you looking to take this training to next, man? What's the next thing on the horizon, or is there new opportunities doing something else within this field or whatever? What's going on? What's new?
That's a good question. I've definitely been I guess what you say, content in this lane with the training. If it gets bigger, I'm gonna let God handle that, right? I kind of just been moving at God's speed to answer that question. So if other opportunities arise for me to take it to the next level, I'll definitely be open to it. I've had a team around me who has encouraged me to get bigger, to be honest. So I know they're probably going to watch this and be like, he should be doing stuff bigger, but a lot of them will continue to push me to do that. So like I said, I move at God's speed. Again, I enjoy the relationships I have with my clients. So I feel like if I do get really, really big, I think a lot of that will go out the window. I don't have a lot of time for that, especially with my own kids and things of that nature. So yeah, God's speed, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. I'm sure it's gonna go the way you would like it to go with your dedication. Now, shout out your social media before I forget. I forgot to do that one of my early interviews, but shout out your social medias, or Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, whatever.
Yep, everything is /DKBA 518. The website is www.dkba518.com. Instagram dkba518.com. So Twitter is the same thing. Facebook's the same thing. So
okay. Now, now when you use social media, 'cause I see a lot of your stuff. Tell the people, like, what do you use that social media for, and what are you trying to get across to the people that are watching that or watching those sites?
Just a positive platform. I know I try to showcase some of the kids that's been coming and working hard and seeing results, but I also use it as a platform just for positivity. I want everybody to know that, I do skill and development training, but I'm a human being too, and I care about the human race, and so you'll see a lot of positive quotes up there, just to maybe get somebody, even if you're not with basketball, just to get you through your day. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's way more important than the basketball, to be honest, right? Being a good person, trying to help others, things of that nature. So if you definitely come to my page, that's where I try to keep it. And it's not just basketball.
Right. Now talk to me about your family, man. I mean, I believe you had a son that had a birthday recently, right?
Yeah, my only son. So my son Tucson just had his 9th birthday in July. And I got 2 other daughters, Olivia, who's special needs. She's 20 years old. Time flies. She's adopted, and so I met her when she was 5, and it's been a challenge, but she's been more than an inspiration for me. So I love her to death. And then my daughter Jasmine, my first biological. So my daughter Jasmine is 10 years old. She'll be turning 11 in November. And they're into sports. They're not into basketball as much. I charge it to myself. It's my fault, because I got so I started getting them to the workouts and stuff, and I was just yelling and going hard, and they're kind of scared. So I backed off. I said, if they want it, they'll come to me.
Right.
So, but they're active. They're in basketball. Jasmine's playing for the Havoc program this summer, and she's starting to work at it. And TJ's doing a couple camps and stuff like that. So they do that. Soccer, it's a big one. Football, all that good stuff. Cheerleading. So they're active. Just kind of.
I got you. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time coming in to give us a few minutes of your time. And I think the people out there, man, just got just learn a lot more about you and what you offer to the public, man. And we wish you luck and more success to come to you, man.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you having me. It's an honor. Thank you.
All right, now we sign off. This is Mojo TV along with